What is up, guys? It is DJ Martini Midwest Reviews coming at you with another video for my channel. Today I have a really cool video on the DDJ Rev-1 from Pioneer, guys. I wanted to bring you this video today because I did put an unboxing not too long ago, but today I have the full review for you guys with the software, hardware, all the features and everything included, guys. So I'm going to jump right in here right away, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. DJ Martini Midwest Reviews and Tutorials. I like to review items, bring them to you guys as easy as possible, do all the research so you don't have to, and bring it to you so you guys can make some choices on some of these items out here. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys get any help from this whatsoever, give me a thumbs up. Think about liking and subscribing, and hopefully we'll see you on the next video, guys. I'll have tons of tech, guys. I got all kinds of stuff in the background ready to get reviewed. I just have to get time to get it all together. So thank you, guys. More videos coming, guys. Thank you. All right, let's get into the video on the DDJ Rev-1, guys. As you know, it is the special edition gold edition, and you know, from what I've been looking online, it's kind of hard to get these, guys. A lot of them are out of stock. If not, I was looking at all the sites and I really honestly couldn't find a link that it was not out of stock right now. It's kind of running a little bit rare, and it went about $280 when I picked it up. They are probably going to only go up in price due to the fact that they are running out low on stock of these, but you can pick up the normal DDJ Rev-1 for $259, and I noticed all of them on most of the sites that I looked at, Amazon, eBay, all those types of things, even like Walmart on their online, you can find them in stock. So you will be able to find this controller, but maybe just not the gold edition that I have here. Now, I really do like the gold edition. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug it here. Guys, here it is right here. It does pop, guys. It does really pop, especially under light. Of course, in the dark you're not going to really get that aesthetic, but in the light it does pop. All the accents on this are in like a gold lettering here, and they do pop, and on the normal version they do not, and I'll show a picture of the normal version here. All right, guys, so we have the gold here edition, and I do love the way this looks. Just the gold just pops out a little bit. Nothing crazy, but it does pop, and I love the way this looks. It just has enough accent just to make it look cool. I do like the features on here with the line on the jog wheels. The jog wheels are a little bit bigger, and I will show you some comparisons here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and change views, guys, bring you down close, show you everything on this model, and then we're going to go in some of the features with the software as well, guys. So let's get into it, guys. I'm going to show you the back while I have it up, though. I'll show you the front real quick with the Serato, but you do have your 3.5mm jack over here. Pioneer DJ N Gold. I do like the way that pops. Even the highlights in the back, still in the gold. You do have a microphone input with a volume adjuster there, so that's cool. Master output and your USB, so controller to the laptop. So it's all there, guys. Here's the bottom right here. Does have some rubber feet down here, so it does stick. And guys, there it is. All right, let's bring you down about it here. You do have the jog platters, and they are just a little bit bigger than normal. I would say they're about 1 inch larger than a normal standard controller would be in this price range. So this is at $250, guys. So you're talking about controllers like the WeGo, the Mix Tracks, some of the new Mark controllers out there, and they're just about 1 inch larger. Let me show you the WeGo here. This is a WeGo controller, and you can see that those jog wheels do look pretty similar, but the inch that you get is right here from where you have your nudge and adjust here. That's probably you're getting the extra size. So they are oversized just a hair, but you can really see that they are very, very close. And like I said, this is a Pioneer WeGo, and that's about the size of my Hercules as well. So those are about the standard size on these controllers. So you do get a little bit more volume, just so you can like set your fingers on the nudge and everything, so you get a little bit more jog wheel or platter here, but it is really not that big compared to, like, say, the FLX. And you can see, I'll show you this guy. Now that is a jog wheel right there. That thing is big compared to the Rev-1, and you can see I actually thought when they talked about having a little bit larger size jog wheel that they would be a little bigger. You know, probably they would put this type of intermediate type of controller but have a jog wheel that was pretty substantial and a really good feel, almost like a 7-inch vinyl record would be really nice. So all right, so they do have this in the battle style, as you can see, kind of going with a turned turntable here. So you have your play, cue, your jog wheel. Up here you do have your deck buttons. You can get up to 4 channels with this, guys, so you can get deck 3, deck 4 on your buttons over there. They do have the tempo faders up top, which takes a little bit adjustment for me. I'm pretty used to standard controllers that usually have the tempo fader up top on the side, but you know, just changing your hand movement a little bit is a little bit of adjustment for that. So they do have auto looping here, but you do have auto looping all over here, so it kind of copies itself here. Maybe put some kind of other feature over here, because you do have auto looping here and auto looping here, but you can change, you know, how much you want your loop to be, half loop, 2 beats, you know, whatever you're going to be working on, but you can do that here as well, and I'll show you that in a little bit. You do have a full trim, high, mid, low, and a filter, which is nice. I do like the locking. This is kind of new to me. This has been around for a while on certain controllers, but for me, I haven't had a lot of controllers that have this locking switch, and I do kind of like how the switch is just easy to use. I do like the way that works. You do have 3 full selections for your FX, which is nice, so you can press 1, 2, or 3 and get in there. You don't have a lot of adjustment on the depth and things for that, but you do have some to get in there and adjust it, so you can kind of stay away from the laptop as long as you have it preset to how you want. Crossfaders do have a little bit of tension. Your up faders, there's some tension on there, so just to let you know, crossfader is okay. It's a little bit, but it's pretty loose, so it's not too bad there, guys. Features on the both sides, so pretty much mimics the same size except for your master volume over here, and this is a headphone volume over here, which is nice. But you do have your cues for your headphones here, and a master button there, shift button here, and then let's go in close and we'll take a look at hot cue, loop, tracking, sample, and your sampler. With the click of the shift button, you can go to the other ones, which would be a beat jump, a roll, trans, and then a scratch bank there. And we'll talk about all those a little bit in the next little segment here, but I just wanted to show you that. I already showed you the back, guys. So this is a look at your controller, and then we're going to get into the software next. Into the things you guys really want to know about. So the extra cool features that are within the Rev-1, guys. It does have a bunch of features. We went over some of them with the FX, 3 channels of FX, lock-on FX, which is pretty cool. But let's talk about some of the particulars, like the hot cue, auto loop tracking, and sampler. So those are your first bank of features on this. So hot cue, of course, we all know hot cues basically are a position within the track that you select within your software, and it'll go to that particular spot in that song every time. So on this one, I have it set for the beginning of the song. So it's going to go to that particular point every time I hit the button. You can set up to 8 of them. Very cool feature to have on a controller. Auto loop basically is just like the auto loop they have up here, but you can hit just a button and it'll put you in a loop. So we'll play this beat. It's going to be half a beat. It's 1 beat. So it's going to basically take you like that through the track with a quick auto loop. So you got to press the button to activate it and unpress the button to deactivate it. So cool there. Tracking we're going to get into in just a second, but we'll skip to the sample bank. Samples are basically samples that you can select. Serato DJ does have some on there already, you know, air horn, siren, those types of things. We'll just go one really quick. And just you know, a little sample that you can throw in a song anytime you want to. So very cool there. All right. Then if you press shift, we'll go into a beat jump. It basically only has two selections. One is a very slight jump ahead and the other one is a little bit more, probably like a half beat ahead. And you can kind of skip through the track. So we'll press play here. I'll probably have to take my auto loop off here. And you can see you can kind of like fast forward through a track, which is kind of a cool feature and something you can kind of play around with there. The next one is of course your roll button, and that's kind of an effect too. We'll go that, we'll shift, hit to go to roll. It's kind of like it's basically an auto, a roll is an auto loop that when you press the button it holds it, when you release it it lets it go. So kind of repeats the same thing. You can get up to like 2 to 4 beats on that within the pads here. Kind of a cool little feature. My favorite one here is the trans. It's cool to have a feature that it goes right to it. You don't have to really mess with your FX and select it and do all that stuff. You just hit shift and then you'll have a few different kinds of trans buttons here that are going to work. And a trans reminds me of kind of a crab scratch, so you can kind of add a scratching thing to it, but just with the hit of a button. It kind of gives that scratch effect, and then if you were to scratch over it, you kind of get that crab scratch effect, which is very, very cool, and it works with different BPMs, and it can be a very, very fun thing to play around with within your tracks. The next thing is the scratch bank, and we're going to go to the scratch bank on the other channel that I have set up here. On the scratch bank, basically you're going to have different scratches, and you can see every time I press a button it's changing the scratch. So it's an automatic bank that you set up. There is a few in there, but you for the most part have to put it in there, and make sure you also set a hot cue on each of these. That way it will work correctly when you're using the next feature about the tracking, which I'll be telling you in a second. But when you go to scratch, it automatically is going to, even if you had 2 tracks there, you're playing one, you want to go to your scratch bank quickly, hit scratch bank, it's going to pop this guy up, and then you can pick whatever scratch you want, and you can get right into scratching it, which is kind of cool to be able to automatically get there right away. So very cool. And if you use the tracking feature, which we'll go to next, you have 6 different tracking scratches that you can use. Track scratch feature, and it's going to have different scratches to teach you one, and then also to be able to use during your mixes once you get a little bit better with them. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the scratch bank here. I want to pick a different scratch, one that has a real good beginning here, right there, and then we're going to go back to tracking, or sorry, the tracking without hitting shift there. And then so your first one is a forward scratch. So you press the button, that's going to put you in this forward scratch mode, and all you're going to be able to do is a forward scratch. So that's going to teach you the forward scratch basically. So when you go back, you're not really hearing anything because it's cutting that part out on the rear scratch, but it's getting the forward scratch every time. So without manipulating the crossfader, you're getting that scratch. It's kind of cool. So let's go to the number 2, which is a reverse. So you notice on the forward, I'm not getting anything, but it's going to get the it's going to get that timing for you down on the reverse scratch. So now every time you're getting that reverse scratch. Is pretty cool. 2-click flare on the number 3 option here, without using the crossfader. And then you're going to get a, I guess that one was a chirp. And this is the 2-click flare right here. You can hear it right there. This is a crab scratch. And then you have a military or march scratch. So you can hear it there. So it does give you an option to learn, and also you might be able to manipulate these a little bit into your mixes as well. I don't think it's really a cheat factor because you kind of have to practice it a little bit or it's going to just sound awful. So I don't think it's really a cheat. It's more of a teaching tool in my opinion, to be able to learn how to use these correctly, because if you don't manipulate the platter right, it's not going to come in right. So, and you can see I did that probably on the military scratch there, that it's just not sounding quite right with my scratch and also my technique. So even things for me to learn, because I'm not a big scratcher, but I would definitely like to learn, and this could definitely help me accomplish that. So it's pretty cool there, guys. So I do like that feature. And if you also notice that with your hot cue, it's starting the song over every time I do the scratch, guys. So it is very, very cool there. So you want to make sure that you have that hot cue set correctly, and you just hit hot cue, set your hot cue to where you want on that scratch, and then it's going to reset to that every time. So this would also be good if you had 2 tracks and you were learning how to beat juggle, because you won't have to use the crossfader, because it's going to start that track over, and you can do what you want. You'll start that track, do what you want, start the track, do what you want, and you can juggle that accordingly. So I'm not going to show that because I need some practice for sure, but it would be a good learning tool to try to get that down. And then once you start getting that, then you can involve the crossfader as well to help you get that done. So very cool little patterns there and everything like that. Now another thing on this controller that I wanted to bring up, it is very streamer friendly, guys. It does have your microphone and your audio come out the master port there. That way when you're recording through the software, it's going to record both, and you'll be able to do live streaming or recording of all that material, all that audio, microphone, and your master output of your volume of your music. So very, very streamer friendly, broadcast friendly, whatever you want to do. Very cool controller that does that. You won't need any extra audio devices or things like that. So just plug and play, record, do what you need to do, stream, and you'll be able to do that straight from your laptop. So, all right, guys, let's wrap this up with positives and negatives, guys, on the DDJ Rev-1 from Pioneer, guys. So positives right off the bat, price point at $259. They really did pick a good price point for this controller, I believe, in my opinion. It has a lot of good features, has a pretty good, well-built system. The gold color for me really works. I really like how it pops. But even if you were to buy the standard edition at $259, this one's $279, sorry, but if you bought the standard edition at $259, I think it's a good deal, guys. You get a lot of features. You do have 3 selections of FX that you can get into. You do have the FX lock and on and off with the switches, some volume there. You can load through the browser with this, guys. You do have some filter control. You have a nice tempo fader that it just takes a little bit to get used to, so everything is good there. The platters are oversized, but it's not a factor for me, guys. I wish they would be oversized like the DDJ FLX6. That one is oversized. I wish they could kind of have a big plastic platter like that. It really feels like a 7-inch vinyl record. It would be nice to have a controller with that sizing and still at this price point. That would be pretty sweet, pretty sick. I would love to have that controller, but this one does have a little bit bigger, oversized compared to like a WeGo, a Hercules 500, things like that. It's just a little bit, and I would say it involves probably being right here on the nudging part, where you get that little bit of extra that you can kind of feel it. But other than that, I don't think it's a huge factor for a positive. I do like the trans and the scratch bank. It's kind of cool features that I'd never had before, that it was within the software, but it wasn't something quickly available to me to hit on a button on a controller. So it's kind of cool that they added that. The tracking scratch is intuitive and it's fun to use. It gives you kind of a learning perspective on some of those scratches, which can be nice to play with as well. So right away, price point good, features good, build pretty solid. It's a plastic controller, but guys, plastic controllers from Pioneer are pretty good. I've had the WeGo for years. I have 2 WeGos. I still have them, love them. And so this is something that I have no problem with the build quality. Also positives, it's kind of a streamer friendly build on this, so you can easily record your mic and audio coming out of this with no problem. It does it on its own. No need to buy any separate audio devices to get that done. You can get microphone and your Macs out to your laptop and then just stream from your laptop. So it's very, very cool there how they put that technology together for this controller. That way it's streamer friendly, easy to work. Other than that, negatives, I don't have a lot of negatives, guys. They need to come out with a dedicated bag for this. Right now you kind of have to just find ones that are compatible with the SP3, and this will fit in there. But a dedicated bag would be nice. That way you can get a hard or soft case for it at least. The platters smudge a little bit, kind of glossy, so they get fingerprinty easily, so you're gonna have to be cleaning that up. The clicky buttons, I wish they kind of put some soft buttons in there. That would be nice. Like I said, I wish they would oversize these platters extremely and keep this at the same price point with the same setup, maybe a little bit different, but keep the same platter size. A nice 7-inch platter would be awesome. That would be like a 7-inch vinyl. Keep it in the same format, but keep it at the same price point. That would be fantastic. I would, even $2.99, I would probably do that. That way you could have that oversized platter and you really feel oversized. This doesn't really feel oversized to me. In my opinion, it feels really close to the WeGo. Like I said, you're just probably getting a little bit more slant curve that you're getting on the nudge part of the controller. So they say it's oversized, but in my opinion, it's just not quite there for me. I wish it was really oversized. Other than that, guys, I really don't have any negatives. This is a solid controller. Works very good with the hardware. It does work with Virtual DJ as well. Some of the features from the tracking and sampler and some of the features won't coincide with Virtual DJ, but the basics will. You might have to MIDI some stuff, and some stuff might just not work. For the most part, this does work with Virtual DJ as well, which is nice, so that is a plus. Other than that, guys, it works very good with Serato DJ Pro. Also works with Serato DJ Lite. It's a great price point. Not too many other negatives on it, guys. I do like its portability, how its sizing and everything. So I'm good to go, guys. I think it's a solid controller. It'd be great for beginners. Like I said, you can learn some scratching techniques. Maybe cheat it a little bit with that trans effect, which is kind of cool. And it's a great backup as well for an intermediate DJ or advanced DJ, guys. This is a solid backup unit that would be portable and easy to get things done with. So thank you guys so much for tuning in DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. If you guys got any help or benefit from this review at all, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. More videos to come on my channel if you like reviews and tutorials. Tune on in, guys. Talk to you guys later.